I'm so excited that this has happened and that you have given me this. I can't. I'm just so excited for what's going to happen. I can't even imagine how this is going to help me. And I want to thank everybody else here that's here that's been supporting me in this process and just for your good vibes and your love. This has been a very wonderful um, supportive group. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. So within the last couple of years, especially, I've been on a path of self-discovery and just kind of I went through a divorce, and that kind of kicked off just uh, a time of introspection and internal inventory. And one thing that I've identified is just a deeply held sense of worthlessness. And I even went to counseling, um, and that was really kind of the question that I had going into it. What is wrong with me? um, and I I've, I'm 42, have a kid. Um, I did have a good childhood, good parents. So there's nothing abuse related or anything like that, but it's just this sense that has stuck with me over the years, and it comes and goes, to different degrees, but it's always been there. And I've also in this recent past couple years, I've also done, in addition to counseling, just read self-help books, um, things like this to try to like practicing gratitude, thinking about things throughout the day that happen and just being thankful for them, and reciting mantras to myself. And one in particular that I repeated to myself every day, multiple times a day, was I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. And there were many times when I was just driving to work in the morning, and I would say that to myself, and it would just bring me to tears because it felt so foreign.
I know exactly what that is like.
And even just a moment ago, um, when you flashed up on the screen, and asked how we felt for a series of phrases, and the first one is I'm not enough. I didn't even have to say it. I just read it and immediately felt an extreme weight in my chest, and my throat felt like it was just completely closed up. I don't know if I could speak
Hmm.
uh, right then at that moment, and I'm having trouble speaking right now.
Yeah. Brother Donnie, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for your authenticity. And I invite you to just take a few deep breaths and allow your body to reset. I'm sending you my love and sending you my appreciation for being here. Hmm. And so we know that that's strong one, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, how intense does that sensation of not enough feel to you? A 10 is like unbearable, uncontrollable. A 1 is like, did a fly just land on my elbow? I don't even know.
I'm going to leave some room for something more intense and say maybe an 8.
Yeah. Needless to say, a really, really strong, powerful sensation. Okay. So just take your arms above your head and give like a sharp inhale, just like, and let it go sharp. And one more. And you can bring your arms down. Thank you. So we discussed the sense of feeling worthless, and you can see that naturally when you're doing belief discovery work, some other adjacent beliefs and belief systems will often also come into the picture. And I'm curious, for the purpose of this experience, would you like to let go of that sense of being worthless?
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, the first question I have for you, and this is really the beginning of the process, is what does it feel like to say that out loud? I am worthless.
It feels incredibly just painful and hopeless. Yeah.
And where do you feel that painful, hopeless sensation in your body? Is it in your neck, in your chest?
It's primarily my throat and my chest. Yes.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense does that feel? Maybe like a 7?
I would say so. Yes.
Okay. And just notice again that slightly different sensations. It's not the same as I'm not enough. It's actually a completely separate, distinct belief that has its own emotional charge and weight carrying it. So that's our baseline. And at the end of this conversation, Donnie, saying I am worthless is going to feel like saying I'm a pancake. It's not going to have any charge. It's not going to have any pull or weight over you. And so now we get into the actual method and process itself. And the first magic question I'd love to ask you is really search within yourself, Donnie. Is there any part of you that doesn't want to let that go for any reason?
No. It's caused me a lot of grief, and I am absolutely ready to let it go. 100%.
Heaven, yes. Okay. Well, just so that folks are aware, I'm going to weave education throughout this demonstration so that you can take away the principles that underlie the method at each step. So we ask that question, are you truly ready to let it go? Is there any part of you that's not ready to let it go? Because ultimately, beliefs can serve as a security blanket for your inner child. And so even though it served a useful purpose 10, 20, 30 years ago when it was first created, it provided a sense of safety. It provided a sense of identity. It provided a sense of purpose. Whatever the intention behind creating the belief ultimately was, the inner child by default doesn't let go of that belief, doesn't let go of that security blanket until you ask. Even if it smells terrible, 30 years later, it's outlived its useful purpose, right? So oftentimes, when you ask that question, is there any part of me that's not ready to let this go for any reason? You will get a yes response. And there's a little 7-year-old inside of you that's like, no, don't let that go. That keeps us safe. We need that in order to survive. In which case, we love that part. We welcome that part with curiosity and compassion, and we seek to understand why it's important to hold on to that belief. We reason with that part of ourselves, and we help it see that it actually is safe to let it go. Donnie's fortunate in that, and this is shared in many, many processes, that no, dude, I'm just ready. Every part of me's ready. And so letting it go is actually going to be pretty quick and easy. So yeah. Let's go with it this way. Take a look at your hand, Donnie. Doesn't matter which one.
Okay.
These questions are not meant to insult your intelligence. They're meant to illuminate the simplicity of the truth. The first question I have for you is, do you see your hand?
I do.
Okay. Do you see I am worthless anywhere on your hand?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you sure?
Let me check the back.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and check the back. It's not there either. Okay.
Not,
All right. It's probably not on your body. Go ahead and look in the room, in the world around you. Do you see I am worthless anywhere in your environment?
no,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, that's cool. I believe you. Have you ever seen I am worthless in your past?
No, I don't. No, no.
Did you really look? Is there any experience that stands out to you? Any memory, any image in your mind's eye that means to you, I am worthless?
I suppose it wouldn't be a singular interaction, but yeah,
And if you're
there
open to sharing, describe that for me. What's that pattern of experiences that seems like I am worthless to you?
well, I guess kind of working backwards chronologically. Um, my ex-wife, um, just some of the criticisms that I got there in that relationship.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's pause and focus on that image for a little bit. If you close your eyes and you look back through that experience of receiving your wife's criticism, just let me know when you're connected to that experience. You can see it. So here's a
Right?
simple question. Do you see your wife speaking, or do you see I am worthless?
I see I am worthless.
Bing. So this is what we call a key image. This is an image in your mind that to you means I am worthless. So what does it actually look like? Do you see her angry face? Is she yelling? What's going on?
It's sometimes angry, sometimes just a look of disgust, maybe.
Bingo. So take a look at that look of disgust. And imagine this. Imagine we took a snapshot of that look of disgust from your wife and we put it next to another image where she's angry, and we put both of those images up on a New York Times Square billboard. And then 186,000 people glanced at that image of her look of disgust and her look of anger. Would all of those people spontaneously become worthless always and forever just because they saw that image?
No,
Oh, okay. That's good news. So, in truth, just because you see a glance from that woman, does it mean I am worthless?
No, it hasn't.
Ah, okay. So now when you look at it, do you see a woman looking at you, or do you see I am worthless?
See a woman looking at me.
Aha. And do you see what we just did there? The difference. I notice you tearing up. I imagine there's an emotional release for you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
My honor, my blessing, my joy, my purpose. And so I want to pause there and explain. And Donnie, feel free to breathe, do what you got to do. I'll take a minute and share with the folks exactly what just happened. Skipping into the presentation. So here's the idea, folks. Seeing is believing. And all of our limiting beliefs are tied to specific images and memories in our mind's eye. And the metaphor I love to use is Santa. So once upon a time, we all believed in Santa. We had a core belief. Santa is real. And we knew that was true because we saw Santa, and seeing is believing. And so look, there's Santa. 100%. That's Santa all day long until at some point in our life, we realize someone spoils the story for us. Actually, you don't see Santa Claus, you see a dude in a costume. And from that moment forward, once that shattering realization is made of what you actually truly saw, I didn't see Santa Claus, I saw a dude in costume, the belief in Santa is deleted. Whoop. Shoot. Ah, okay. That's what I did here. Great. So that's the underlying principle, is that you don't actually see the belief itself anywhere in your past. You don't see, for example, nobody likes me inside of the image. In truth, you don't see the belief. You see the experience that's happening. You see, in this particular case, instead of the belief nobody likes me, you can see 3 kids pointing and laughing. And so the real magic question in this case is, have I ever actually seen this belief with my own 2 eyes? And the God honest answer is no, 100% of the time. It's not possible to see that meaning dangling around in 3-dimensional space, because ultimately we created the interpretation of what we saw. And once we created that meaning, we projected it onto the experience. So have I ever actually seen that I'm not enough? No. Have I ever actually seen that I'm not worthy? No. So you look back through all the memories tied to the belief, and there will be multiple, especially when you're doing core beliefs that stretch back a long time. And so Donnie and I are going to continue in that process. The point is to try to find it and fail. Realize that it's not there. It was never there. And be honest with yourself. If you see an image of someone looking at you a certain way, does that mean that you're not capable? No. If you see numbers on a bank account on your laptop screen, does that mean I am broke? No, not intrinsically. It does if you choose it, but not intrinsically, not in truth. And in truth, what you saw 100% of the time is an experience. And all that remains of that experience is an image in your mind's eye that you call a memory. And so to illustrate the point even further, going back to our little girl, did she actually see I'm not enough? Or did she see her father's stern eyes and face? She didn't see I'm not enough. She saw the way her father looked at her one time when she was 7 years old. That's what she truly saw. Do you see nobody likes me, or do you see 3 kids pointing and laughing? You just saw what you saw. You saw the experience. Do you see I'm not smart enough? Or do you see the letter F on a piece of paper? You just see the letter F on a piece of paper. And that's always, 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 always the case. There's no exception. You see the experience. You don't see the belief. In every single experience in your entire life didn't actually mean that you're not worthy. And if you look closely and you ask yourself, did I ever actually see that I'm not worthy? Did I see that I'm not enough? The God honest answer is no, I didn't see that. And when you fully break the meaning out of the image, that image no longer means I'm not worthy, I'm not capable, I'm not enough, etc. You become free from the belief at the visual level and you experience an emotional release from it because you're no longer carrying that meaning in your eyes. So, back to you, Donnie. My question for you now is, if you look back closely through your earlier memories, have you ever actually seen I am worthless? And if you want to say yes, that's totally okay.
Well, I can think of interactions with people where I have disappointed them or whatever with my make a mistake or did something that I wasn't supposed to do or whatever. Things like that come to mind, but
Yeah.
no, I don't think that means what I think it means. It just those are interactions. Some of them certainly my fault, and some of them may have been just a poor timing or whatever, and a harsh reaction. So no, I to answer your question, no, I don't think so.
Beautiful. Okay. And just to illustrate the point even further, it's like if I tell you, hey, I remember I have 2 sticks of gum in my pocket. I'm going to eat one. Do you want one too? And I take out my gum from my pocket. I only have 1 stick and I eat it. And I go, sorry, dude. I actually only had one. And for a moment in time, you feel some disappointment. Does that make me worthless forever?
No, no,
So just because you have an interaction with another human being and they experience an emotion called disappointment, does that mean I am worthless?
no.
Cool. That's really good news. Okay, great. And so I'll ask again, as you look back through your past, did you ever truly see I am worthless?
There was one time with my mom in particular that just really is seared into my memory.
Hmm.
when I when I was dating a girl that she didn't like, and that was a pretty painful time for me too. But yeah, I remember that moment very clearly.
Thank you. And total love and respect for the younger version of you that went through that difficult experience and felt some really strong emotion with it. And if you take your current self with all the wisdom that you've gained, the strength of your heart, and you look back closely through that experience, do you actually see I am worthless anywhere on your mom's shirt?
No,
No. Do you see it on her hair?
no,
If we're honest, do you see it anywhere in that picture?
not not in any written sense. Just the expression on her face was what communicated that to me, or how I interpreted that, I suppose. But no, it was not.
Yeah.
It was not there in
And,
a literal sense.
and just for the sake of serving you thoroughly, when you look at that face of hers, just because you saw that face, does it mean I am worthless?
No,
Are you sure?
I am sure. Yes.
Great. Okay, cool. Excellent. Well done. Okay. And have you ever seen I am worthless at any point in your life?
No, I haven't.
I believe you. Great. Well done. And how is your experience now in this moment? How are you feeling at this part of the process?
Um, like my chest and my throat have just opened up. Um, like I'm free. Like I'm saying this in my head. I'm not enough. I'm worthless. And just that sensation that I had just a few minutes ago, which was crippling. Um, I don't feel any attachment to it. I don't feel any weight. It's just it's gone.
Heaven, yes. Lovely. Well, there's one more part of the process, and there's a question that I have for you, which is, have you ever felt worthless?
I ever felt worthless. Yes.
Totally. I'm not going to spoil this for you. I'll just take you through the experience. Um, can you tap into what that felt like, that sense of being worthless, and really just connect to it and welcome it with love, with curiosity, and let me know when you're present with that sense of worthless.
Okay.
How would you describe this sensation in your body? What do you feel and where?
It's a weight on my shoulders.
Yeah. Okay. But just be present with that weight on your shoulders. And here's a question. I love using metaphors. Let's say, do you have a kid by chance?
Yes.
Boy or girl?
Well,
Let's just imagine for a moment that your sweet little boy woke up one day and for no apparent reason, just randomly, he felt some weight on his shoulders. And he was like getting ready to go play some sports, hang out with some guys. And he was just like, this is annoying. What's going on? I feel weight on my shoulders. Dad, I'm getting kind of annoyed by this. I feel this weight on my shoulders. Can I go like get a quick checkup at the doctor or something like that? You're like, yeah, absolutely, buddy. I got you. Let's get you taken care of. You go over to the doctor's office and there you're waiting in line and the nurse calls you in. And the nurse says, so honey, what's your symptoms? And your son's like, it's really weird. I got this weight on my shoulders. It won't go away. It's just there. It just feels heavy, you know? The nurse is like, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll give that symptom list to the doctor. You got weight on your shoulders. And, okay. Goes out of the room for a few minutes, and a few minutes later, the doctor comes in. And the doctor has got a grim look on his face. He's like, Mr. Brandt, I must regretfully inform you that because your son has some heaviness on his shoulders, unfortunately, he's worthless. Forever. There's no cure. He's fucked. I'm sorry. Would you believe the doctor?
Not a chance.
No. Okay. Okay, well, that's great. So just because someone feels some heaviness on their shoulders, does that actually mean that they're worthless?
No, no.
Not at all. So go ahead and focus your attention on that sensation of heaviness that's on your shoulders, that weight, and let me know when you got it.
Okay.
Great. Now ask yourself this magic question. Does this sensation mean I am worthless?
Not at all.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm sure.
Lovely. And notice, does that feel disconnected? The words from that sensation.
It does. Yes.
Interesting. Good news, folks. It's not possible to feel worthless. We feel emotions and sensations in the body. And so, Donnie, when you were feeling that heaviness on your shoulders, were you feeling worthless or were you feeling heaviness on your shoulders?
You guys just feeling heaviness on my shoulders.
Ah, thank God.
It's a miracle.
Heaven, yes. But it's so simple and it's so obvious when we slow down the busy rush of our day-to-day experience and question that core assumption. Am I feeling not enough right now? Wait a minute. What am I actually truly feeling? I feel contraction in my heart and I feel sadness behind my eyes. Does that contraction in my heart and sadness behind my eyes mean that I'm not enough? No. Oh, oh, huh. I feel lighter now. Look at that. So search within yourself, Donnie. Is there any other emotion, any other sensation that still feels tied to I am worthless?
There's nothing that I can identify right now.
Funny that you use that word. Sense into it, Donnie. This is a little bonus step in the process. Have you ever identified with that belief in the past?
Oh, yes.
Totally. Would you like to disidentify with it now?
Absolutely.
Okay. This one's a very simple declaration. And so I invite you to declare out loud, I now choose to disidentify with the belief I am worthless.
Now choose to disidentify with the belief that I am worthless.
And what are you noticing?
Sense of confidence.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so now, Donnie, what happens if you say, I am Willy Wonka-less?
I don't really want the list. Nothing, just silly.
Cool. What about I am Squirthless?
Nothing.
Cool. And from a place of neutral curiosity, what happens if you say, I am worthless?
I am worthless. Nothing.
Ivan, yes, way to go. Cheers for Donnie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Truly, what a blessing to be able to share. Thank you. So I want to switch my camera view back to be able to see all of you. So I'd love to hear either in the chat or feel free to come off of mute. What are you taking away from that experience? What are you realizing? What are you aware of that you weren't aware of previously?
Reiterating the fact that there's a separation between the beliefs we hold and actuality. Whatever happens, we then form belief systems based on that, but they're not inherently true. We choose to believe in them or we don't. And it's a choice. So we're separate from our thoughts, we're separate from our emotions. We get to choose what they mean. And we're at a place of choice and within agency the whole time. So I think you articulate that beautifully. I really appreciate that. And just listening in on this call. I had my camera off because I was eating lunch, but Donnie, you did some great work. Well done, brother.